Welcome to the World Builders Anvil, episode 141. Today's episode, session 3. Enter the Bard Steward.
It's not a bard.
Enter the Wine Steward.
Thank you.
Don't know where to start building your fantasy world? Do you need more? Does it make sense? Forget any worries and become a crafter of imagination. This is the place that will help prime your mind. Now, it's time to heat up the forge, break out the mithril ingots and hammer. Welcome to the World Builders Anvil. I'm your host, Jeffrey W. Ingram. Let's sup from the mug of Java and build. Welcome back. As always, I'm Jeffrey W. Ingram.
And I'm Michael Miller.
And today we are here to return to session 3 of Enter the, what is it?
Enter the Wine Steward.
Yeah.
Or Enter the Steward. Where were we?
It's Enter the Wine Steward.
Well, I know it's a wine steward. I just couldn't remember if we were actually using that.
AKA Bard, AKA...
It's not a bard. He doesn't sing unless he's drunk, which I suppose occurs because he's the wine steward. Karaoke night.
Keeping everyone safe.
Like local townie.
And if anyone remembers, in the last episode... Michael met this very interesting old man, and I believe he offered to marry a goat or something like that.
Yeah, the guy, I needed wine, and just so happens that he had very, very high quality wine on the back of his wagon, but it was to be a dowry for the marriage of his goat. This man's obviously a few shy a six-pack, a few cans short of six-pack. Not quite all with it, but...
Or a giant barrel of wine short of a dowry?
Yeah, but the point is he's got the wine that my character, the wine steward, needs, and we have made a deal. I am going to try to set his goat up with another goat in town so that I can get the wine off of him.
Yes. And... luckily, Michael, being a resident of this town, often wheeling and dealing, would know of a character by the name of Adalburn, and he is a local goat shepherd. I guess that's not the actual term, but he herds goats, not sheep.
What's his name?
Adalburn. Adalburn.
Burn. Adalburn. Okay. If I'm quite spelling that right, you can correct me on it later. And right now, all of my, as per using the DeScriptors system, right now, all 4 of my descriptor skills are recharged. And could you quickly list those off for the pleasure of the audience? Likeable, resourceful, intelligent, and organized.
And for those of you who are picking up for the first time or who have forgotten, essentially he can use those to guarantee successes in an action.
I don't know that they were guaranteed.
They do. They guarantee you to succeed. That's the advantage of using them.
But I thought you could still, in certain scenarios, as the GM, overrule it, even if I intend to.
I can overrule it, but I don't think you lose it if I completely reject you. But I could also, it's more I can tell you the scenario you come up with that you're describing using that is BS.
Other noteworthy details about the prior session. There's a new chef at the castle named Villasandra.
Yes.
There is the Duke's scout has arrived at the town, I guess we call it.
Well, you met him in the town on the way to the castle in the town.
Right. And his name is Sir Thimric. Which means the Duke is shortly there to follow. We don't know how far behind he is, but not far.
But you're sure that the Duke will not sleep in a separate spot away from Sir Thimric?
But what does that mean?
Like, he will be there before
nightfall. They're both going to crash at the same time.
It might even be a little after nightfall, but you have a feeling that the also extra story name we could come up with would be Best Day Ever. Describing the day your character's having, it's the best day ever.
Oh yeah, it is a very bad day. Things are going extremely poorly.
Because essentially he's lost his entire wine collection, and as a wine steward, that kind of sucks.
Let's be fair. It's been stolen, or
that's your accusation,
or ruined, none of which he did.
Well, how do we know you just weren't storing vinegar down there?
He didn't. It's not vinegar. Someone ruined the wine. Well, it's vinegar now.
Yes.
It's going to go on salads. It was wine. So we are on our way to Adelburn's.
So yeah,
I'm gonna call him a goat herder.
You're gonna call him?
No, I'm writing down the characters, so I'm saying I'm denoting him as a goat herder.
Oh, okay.
That's fair, right?
Since he herds goats, maybe.
What did he hear them say? Sorry, I couldn't resist.
Unfortunate. Okay. So slowly you head back into town. Michael is currently on a donkey, but he's probably leading it now because the wagon and goat and old man are moving slightly faster than a snail would if it's going slow. And
old man Marion. His name is Marion.
Mm-hmm.
I was reminding you, I didn't know if you remember the name.
Yes. But to me, he's just the old man.
The old man. The crazy old man. The crazy old goat man.
Goat man. Old goat man. And as you approach in, same guards are sitting out front of the town who helped you realize that there was actually a possible merchant out front, which they were correct. What lucky coincidental timing this all is.
I know. And don't think that my character is...
Not stupid.
He's not stupid, and he also has like a low level of paranoia. So he knows that this seems awful suspect to him, but he's also between a rock and a hard place, so he kind of has to roll with it.
Yeah, and I would think even if your character did not have a low level of paranoia normally, by this point of today...
Well,
yeah,
no,
it would make sense.
But that's a matter of perspective. Some people might say, oh, thank my lucky stars, this day is turning around once the super good wine is now within grasp. Mm-hmm. That's how a lot of people might look at it. Mm-hmm. But he's like, this seems too convenient. So, it's difference of, outlook. And like I said, he feels he's between a rock and a hard place, so he kind of has to roll with it, but not at the detriment of it potentially killing the Duke. So precautions will be made. And let's also not forget that
the good news is, though,
the head steward said, don't bring the wine here yet. Secure the wine, but don't bring it back to the castle.
Yes,
so.
Because he seems slightly paranoid today as well.
Exactly. And with good reason.
Yeah, like I said, it wouldn't necessarily be the only reaction, but even if a character is not normally paranoid, if you've had the kind of day that Michael's character has had, and through that his boss, the chief steward, has had because of Michael's bad day, it would tend to make people a little paranoid.
Yeah, at least.
At least it would be a normal reaction. Okay. So as you're passing back through, you're on the castle street, the street that leads you to the castle. Very cleverly named.
Yes.
And and as you're going up around what they call Moat Street, which is the street where the moat would be, it goes
also
around the castle.
Very cleverly named.
But not quite as clever. It'd be more clever if there was actually a moat.
There's no moat.
There's no moat, but it's where the moat would be.
Yeah, when we can afford to have the moat installed, this is where it'll go.
This is exactly the spot a good moat would be. And essentially, it goes around the castle. It's actually a fairly large street because for some reason, the people who built the castle wanted some distance between themselves and other structures. Like there's no giant house abutting the outer castle wall. As you go in, you start to notice a large crowd of people sort of at the intersection of castle and moat. As you're moving down there, your first thought is, oh my God, it must be Hamilton. Because you start to realize it's a lot of the townswomen sort of hanging out around there.
Oh, is he a good-looking man?
Well, usually he's popular amongst a certain group of people who live in town.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely is not a ladies' man. That would be wrong. There's not a lot of single women. He himself is not married, so that would be wrong.
I didn't know that, so I got competition.
You have competition, but he does not appear to care about marriage. That does not seem to be high on his agenda.
Okay.
However, he does spend a lot of time with the population in town that is he's popular amongst, which is the women, most of which in this town who are married. But still, he seems to usually have at least a couple women around him the few times you've actually seen him in your several years working here.
So I have met him.
You've met him a couple times.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Several years.
So the concept that we were toying with of him not actually existing is not true. I have met him.
Like I said, to you, this would be like one of the examples of a time that you have met him in your life. A group of women, most of which are married, out apparently surrounding someone on the street, and there's conversation.
So I've never shaken his hand. I've never been introduced to him.
You've not got close enough. You've talked to him, but it's tough to get really close enough to shake his hand.
I've seen what he looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good looking man.
What?
Good looking man.
Okay.
But definitely not a lazy man. That would be wrong.
Okay. We're on our way to Adelburn anyway.
Yep. So you're ignoring the crowd and moving along? Would it be interesting to at least talk to
I have work to do.
Okay.
Like, there are much bigger things at work than my curiosity over
remember,
potentially
it's not just a curiosity,
Hamilton.
Though. You have serious stuff going on. And if you remember, your character really wanted to make sure that he was on the ball.
Yes, but I was then put in my place by my higher up.
Fair enough.
So his priority is his job right now.
Very good. So you continue around the crowd of women, which is obnoxiously large, and you sort of have to kind of veer around because they don't seem to be paying attention too much to anything on the street, which is kind of dumb. But
no, it was bothering me. There was like this little wispy thing like floating in the air.
Okay. So as you move out around the moat, you sort of catch a stop grabbing at me.
Maralam, saralam, maralam, saralam, bum shiba.
Stop trying to grab my head.
Drop them, Dr. Jones. They will be found, but you won't.
Wow, that really just changed around in my head because that's a very disturbing image still stuck in my head.
Which? The heart rip?
Yeah, heart rip. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Tomato. Memorable, that's for sure. So I guess it depends on how you define good. Okay. Now,
you know the subtext of that movie? We'll have to talk about it sometimes.
Okay. We'll talk about the world of Indiana Jones.
It's about heartbreak.
Yeah. Literally. Okay.
It's about, I want to say it's about divorce. Temple of Doom. It's true.
Doom to your wallet, too. Okay. You start going around. You start following out one of the side streets towards a side gate to get back out of town because, unfortunately, the quickest way is through town. Not a lot of roads crisscrossing rural areas.
No, it's only like a block. It's a small town.
No, well, it's a block deep, but it's like you have to go block over, block down. But it's quicker than going
it's still
around
set up
the
like
town.
Block. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a very defined area within the walls. And then essentially you head back out one of the...
I thought the town didn't have walls around it. I thought
the town has walls around it.
There are walls around it. Okay.
They're not as big or imposing as the castle walls, but this is a walled town.
Okay. I didn't know that. Or I forgot it.
Yep. Because remember you passed through the gate.
Oh, you know what? I did
out.
know that because of the gate. That's right. I did know that. I forgot.
You sort of... as you pass the guard, you drop off the
donkey and
donkey.
Thank him very much for letting me borrow it.
Don't worry, you'll get just what you deserve. Have a good day.
What'd you say?
You'll get just what you deserve. Have a good day. Hope that's good. You go out the side gate. You travel around to a small hut area where you know that Adelburn lives at, and he's kind of a weird cat. He's older. His wife passed away years ago. Never got remarried, which is kind of odd, but not super odd. He's kind of a loner out there.
How many people want to marry the goat herder?
Yeah, especially it's not his goats.
Well,
he's the Duke's goat herder.
It's okay.
Not his
so they're
livestock.
not even his.
Yeah.
Got it.
Which is why you would go here instead of to a potential other farm, because then the question is who would own the wine. And with the Duke's goats.
Because I was actually about to ask you that. So I'm basically going to get this wine.
Like I said, I give you credit that your character is clever.
Yeah. Well, you didn't give me other options where I would have. Yeah. So
no, because your character, I think this would be the natural option.
This would be the natural choice. And plus, if they're the Duke's goats, obviously they're the best in town.
Yeah, that's right.
Might take you.
This is Billy the goat.
I'll take you to some cheap goat herder. Those goats across town are whores.
A little limp, if you know what I mean. Those goats across town.
Don't know where those goats have been. Totes my goats.
Totes my goats. Okay.
All right.
So you go out, and he's actually sitting out on a chair right outside the door, and he's kind of looking up as you guys are approaching. He's not used to a lot of visitors.
Adelburn, good day.
To you, what brings you this way, sir?
Does he remember my name, or does he say?
Yeah, he knows your name.
He
he doesn't. He's not what you would call a social being.
Gotcha. Adalburn, you're in a unique position to help out the Duke a great deal today. This man's name is Marion. Marion is in need of a groom for his goat, and he is prepared to give. So what I'm looking for,
A dowry.
Dowry, thank you. And he's prepared to give dowry of wine to whoever provides a good groom. So I figured no better goats in town than the Dukes. And
Adalburn sort of slowly pulls out his pipe. Just kind of, you see sort of the ridge of his eyebrows sort of stiffen up as his brain's going, and he looks up and he's like
this whore's no good for my goats. She's not good enough for the Duke's goats.
Yeah, is she a virgin? Looks up at you, is like, I don't know.
Give him a look like let him know that
he's looking up at you as if you are insane.
And maybe kind of like give him a high sign, like, hey, it's this dude, but help me out.
I don't know what you.
I'm gonna hang on. Wait. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna burn likable on this one. I'm gonna burn likable, or actually, should I burn resourceful?
I think it depends on what you're trying to stop. So, once again, you have to think about using it in a term to fix the situation. So I'm likable, so I do this to make him like me more.
I'll tell you what, I'm
resourceful.
I'll burn them both.
Because you can force him to do the goat.
Well, right, but I'm going to burn them both. And as a resourceful move, I'm going to try to give him a little visual cue to be like, hey, look, it's this dude's a little wacky, but I need this to happen sort of thing. And I am likable, so I'm assuming that this guy, even though we don't hang a whole heck of a lot, is cool with me. So I'll burn one of each of those, which will, I'm sure, shorthand me later, but that'll make this fun. So
he's kind of just sort of shaking the pipe at you. His expression softens a little bit magically.
Maybe a little. I give him a little wink, sort of like
He's like, I don't know what's going on with your friend here, but I ain't marrying no damn goat.
Should I turn to Marion and ask if he can perform the ceremony? Oh boy. Hang on. I'm just okay. Used. All right. I don't even know what to say this. All right, I'm not going to say anything. Just let him keep going because I assume he's got a little more to say, or is that it?
His jaw's pretty much dropped, kind of looking over at that guy now. He's like, I wish I could help you out, but I'm sorry, I ain't married no damn goat.
Marion, do you have? Are you prepared to? I don't even know how to ask it. What sort of ceremony do you require?
He's like, I can take care of the ceremony. That'll be fine. But we need a groom. Because I ain't married no damn goat.
You're making me nervous by whatever you're scribbling over there.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was just 2 lines, but hey, stop that. So?
Well, it appears he's willing to perform the ceremony.
Marion or?
Marion. The old guy is that
was 2 statements.
Start off with Marion, then the other guy interjected.
You said it so
I ain't marrying no damn goat.
You said it so smoothly. I didn't know if that was Marion saying at that time. I was like,
and being an intelligent human being, you realize that this guy seems to think that you want him to marry the goat.
Marion. Adalburn seems to think that I intended him to marry the goat.
He seemed to miss the point.
No. Adalburn, you do understand that we mean the goat to marry a goat.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Whatever.
That's why I came to you.
Mm. Oh yeah,
makes sense now, huh?
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Didn't know why you want me to marry a damn goat anyway.
Well done, sir. give him a handshake so that we all laugh this off like it's not entirely crazy.
They can marry any goat you want. I don't care.
He should have understood that since I said you're in a position and what better than the Duke's goats? Like
it was more.
It was pretty implied.
It was implied, and he's not a man of subtleties.
Okay, gotcha. So not the swiftest in that regard. Yeah. All right, well, great, excellent.
But he didn't get angry.
Oh, good. Well, I'm likable.
Okay.
Maybe I'll float him a little of the wine just to as a thank you.
I prefer beer, though. Oh, I could get you beer instead. Oh, you can?
None of this was allowed. None of this was out loud.
No. You said there's a dowry of wine.
Yes.
And when you explained that, the response from, let me be a bit more clear here.
Yeah. Backpedal.
Yes. the response from Adelburn is, oh, well, that's cool, but I'd prefer to have beer. What? And then Marion responded to him, oh, I could get you beer instead.
Well, no, because this is going to be for the Duke, and the Duke prefers wine.
Oh, that would make sense.
But I'll tell you what, Adelburn.
Nights turned to crap.
I'll tell you what, Adelburn. I'll take you out for a couple of beers one of these nights.
No, you just bring it out here instead.
Okay. I just figured you might want to come into town. Nah.
Smells funny in there. It's because it smells like human crap.
Yeah, right.
Not sheep crap.
Goat crap.
Okay. He's like, yeah, pick one. I don't care.
So is he going to set the other goat and the goat's going to pick, or is he going to pick?
Actually, Marion starts walking amongst the goats.
Okay.
Like, oh, no. He's already spoken for.
This guy's insane.
And Alburn's kind of looking at you like, we're sure this is okay. And after, it takes probably about 5 minutes of him going through the herd.
I'm staying by Adelburn.
Adelburn is sort of, he's grabbing onto his staff like he's ready to go out and beat this guy senseless if need be.
Please be patient with this process. I realize this is, what's the word I'm looking for? Not
weird,
uncommon. No, I'm looking for. There's another word I was looking for. Not typical. I realize this isn't typical.
Atypical. Okay.
Keep in mind that I only do this out of service for the Duke.
And he's not looking at you weird. He's looking at
that dude weird.
At Marion going through, and he kind of leans over and he whispers into the goat's ears, and then he also is like, "Are you sure? Okay." And then he kind of moves from goat to goat, and finally, after about 5 minutes, he's, "Oh, perfect!" And he starts bringing one of the goats out.
Good deal.
This will work out just perfectly. Adelburn kind of leans up and looks over and is kind of like, "Whatever." He's like, Marion's looking at you. He's like, you said you needed me to perform the ceremony."
Yes. I mean, I don't need him to do it.
We're uncertain on the formalities with this. Ain't common around here.
I hope I don't have to be any part of this ceremony. Oh no, you're an important part. No.
You're what we call the man in the middle, the exchange point, you might say. See, your mind just took that to a sick place. I didn't mean it that way.
Please.
Okay, so essentially he goes up and he grabs Elsa and sort of has her nudge over to him, and he has one hand on her neck and then one hand on the top of the head of this other goat.
Do we want to give the other goat a name?
What? Do you want to ask what its name is? Do you know what the goat's name is?
I don't know the goat's name.
Okay, well then you wouldn't know.
You realize that my character doesn't need to know for Michael to know to put it down so that if we need to know in the future, it's written down. So if you want to tell me the name, that's great. But my character probably isn't going to ask.
No. In which case, I can't tell you.
Fine.
You'll metagame it.
You know I won't. What's its name?
Mike.
Shut up. Mike the goat.
Mike the goat. Okay, so he sits there and he puts both hands on and he's whispering something in a language you do not recognize. Mm-hmm. You're not sure if it's actually a language or
if he's just muttering.
The mutterings of an insane man. There's a cadence to it, which so it could just be some kind of weird old chant that the guy heard or made up. Who knows? And then when he gets done, both goats shift completely black and disintegrate to the ground into little piles of ash. And he smiles like, they will be very happy. Well, thank you. You can have the card. I'm on my way.
My job would
Adelson is sort of staying up with his staff at this point.
Adelburn.
What did I call him? Adelson?
Adelson.
Yeah. Names change.
Quick, you've got it wrong.
Wrong.
Why are you calling him Adelburn? Because that's what you said his name was. No. You weren't listening.
No, it's his brother.
To the last thing I said. Okay.
What about my dead goat?
You'll be compensated. It's the Duke's goat.
Well, this is on you.
It's on me.
All right, fair enough.
I had money to go get wine. Give him, because I assume he has to do an inventory and accounting as I would for anything that belongs to the Duke. Yes. So all we're doing is moving chips in from one column to another. So so compensate him. Say you had to sell a goat.
Okay.
For whatever's appropriate. I don't know.
Could at least left the meat.
You sold the goat.
Fair enough. Okay.
And I owe you 2 beers.
Yes, maybe 3.
We'll talk.
Okay. All right. So you sit there, you're standing out there talking to him, and the old guy just starts walking off in the mud.
Okay.
Not even the way you came.
Fine. I don't care about him.
Yep.
Double check the wine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's delicious.
Delicious? Okay.
Not insanely delicious, but it's good wine.
How is the cart being pulled?
The old man was pulling it.
Really? Okay.
You noticed it before, but
I noticed it before.
Until now, it didn't really dawn on you that he literally was pulling it with one hand.
I know. Michael as a person remembers that detail. As a player, I remember that detail. Yeah. So I'm curious, because you never described how large the cart was. Is it like a horse-drawn size cart?
Yeah.
Okay. Give it a tug. It's not budging.
No possible way you could even lift up one of the handles.
Really?
It's like in a wood thing like that, there's a little slack as it sort of tightens
right.
out. You can get up there, but this thing is exceptionally heavy.
Lovely.
And the weird thing is your character never even considered the point until the guy walked away that how odd this sort of you should have noticed that right away, but this is obviously an odd circumstance.
Yeah. Adelburn, is there any way I could convince you to go to the castle to request that some donkeys or horses be brought out here so we can get this wagon back? Actually, wait. I should probably go back and tell what's-his-face about it, but I don't want to leave the wine alone. Oh, man, this
complications.
All right. Adelburn, will you please do me a favor and just keep your eyes on this cart and this wine? I have to go back to the castle so that I can get this back to the castle. I have to go get some horses, and I have to tell the head steward.
Well, is it going to stay right where it's at?
It's eventually going to get to the castle, but I need to make sure that it's safe.
Well, because when I sit back down there, it's going to still be right there. Pretty sure I'll be able to see it.
Okay. Fair enough. If anyone comes along, let them know that it belongs to the Duke. No one is to touch it but me.
Fair enough.
Appreciate it. Okay, back to the castle.
Excellent.
I come back, it's all gone. He just drank it all. He's totally hammered. He's like, I lied about not liking wine.
The guy's hooking up the draft horse.
All the goats
this doesn't seem so heavy.
All the goats are drunk.
the guy's like, hooking up the draft horses later. It's not really heavy at all. What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a drunk goat?
Is there anything about your character that's a traditionalist?
I mean, I would say just out of, not that he clings to it. I would say no. But out of the fact that generally tends to be how these societies work. So he probably...
Yeah, I was being particularly...
Not particularly. Okay. That's not something that he, hardcore subscribes to. He'd be willing to break tradition if moment called for it.
Yeah, because obviously to you now that this is an exceptionally even more odd coincidence of happening.
Mm-hmm.
So that might be a lingering question in your head before the Duke gets it. As you come walking back into town, You notice a gentleman is coming out of the gate, moving rather rapidly. He's very noticeable because he's wearing essentially completely red with gold trimmed tunic and pants. Very expensive. He's very odd in the fact he has zero beard for an adult male. Very odd. Mm-hmm. Especially because he looks like he's local, but he looks like a boy because he doesn't have a beard. And he comes moving out swiftly. He's like, he kind of stops and he stares at you for a second, and then he starts to move past you out towards where you just came from.
Okay. Did he come out of the castle?
No, this is actually as you're entering the side gate that you came out of to where Adelson is.
Okay.
Or Adelburn.
Adelburn.
Keep changing his name.
I mean, again, I have things to do, so I'm not terribly concerned about others right this second.
Like someone you don't know moving towards your wine?
Oh, is he moving towards the wine?
He's going to where you came from. There ain't much out there except for a couple farms. He's someone you don't know. He's dressed well, moving out into the countryside, not towards the King's Highway.
I see. Yeah. I see. Then just address him. I am, after all, likable. Good day, sir.
I don't think you're so likable anymore. He's like, hello.
Put my hand out. Emil. I am the
Eric,
the Duke's wine steward.
Eric the Bard.
Enter the bard. Enter the bard.
Well, I have a generic bard character. I have to introduce.
No. Yeah, but see, I know
this story's about me.
I know
that?
only a little about Eric the Bard.
Yeah,
I've never met him in a game before, so I'm very apprehensive about this interaction. Okay.
That name does ring a bell to your character.
My character knows this name.
Eric. There is a mage who works for the prince, sort of the Duke's boss, which does not make her your boss. It makes him the Duke's boss, and it's a weird societal thing.
I get you.
Whose name is Eric. Supposed to be really wise, really powerful, blow up the world if you wanted to kind of guy. But he's on our side, so he's a good guy.
Okay.
Not so much a bard. And he really doesn't look like a wizard because he doesn't have a beard, and everyone knows wizards have beards.
Plus, how many men out there could be named Eric?
Yeah. And how wise can he be without a beard?
I mean, really.
Yeah. Only losers can't grow beards.
Jeff's referring to himself. Michael has a full beard right now. Prove that we're on a podcast. I can take a picture. Of course, I'd need your permission to put it on the site.
Never.
Denied.
Okay.
So I just introduced myself as he introduced himself. He's
like, did you just notice something very odd?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Who are you?
My name is Emil. I am the wine steward to the Duke.
Can you tell me what happened out there recently that you thought was weird?
I acquired some wine from a man who was trying to marry a goat. Marry a goat off. He wasn't trying to marry the goat himself.
Off to who?
Another goat.
Oh, well.
I thought it strange myself, but since I needed the wine, we made a trade.
And was it the only strange thing that happened within that scenario?
No, when he performed, and I do this in air quotes, because air quotes are totally legit in your world.
Yes. Especially for the podcast.
Right. When he performed the ceremony,
the marriage ceremony for the goats.
Yes.
Okay.
He disintegrated the bride and groom and then walked away.
In which way?
Point in the direction.
Yep. And Eric starts walking that way.
He seemed like a nutty old man. Although
he turns around as he's backing forward or backing away from you, towards the direction you pointed.
Yeah.
Yes, who disintegrated two goats in front of you.
Yeah, and also he was pulling a cart by hand that he should not have been able to pull. Like, I'm going back to the castle to get horses to do the same task.
Where, sir, can I find you in, say, an hour or two?
Probably at the castle, either at the castle or at the goat farm.
He keeps backing away, not paying attention to the direction he's moving.
Because obviously it's more intent that he cover ground. Like he's not backing away from me, freaked out by me.
It's like he's like trying to get to where you pointed, but he's finishing the conversation.
I got it.
He's multitasking. And he's like, I need to talk to you. I've been attracted here by something odd going on, and I think you might have more to do with this.
I'd be happy to talk to you when
I'll take all the help I can get.
Because there are other weird things going on right now.
Excellent. And he whips around and goes.
Okay.
Excellent.
Eric the Bard. Let's add Eric the Bard.
He's not half the bard.
I was going to say, is he half the bee?
That is actually how he got his name, was because of that song, because I love that song.
It's a great song.
Twiddly
dee, it's Eric the Alpha Bee.
Well, the irony is he has 3 halves.
I thought it was only 2.
No, you know of 2.
No, I thought you did you only tell me of the 2?
You probably know of Eric the Mage and Eric the Bard. Eric the Mage you've probably met, and that's the guy in Highwall that's always helping you out. But there's actually an older Eric that does not get talked about much.
Well, maybe I'm thinking of Eric the Mage. Well, isn't the whole bit was that I remember there was a purpose to him splintering himself.
Yes. And that's because his magic becomes so powerful, he creates aspects of himself. In theory, he could pull it all together.
I remember some of it. I just didn't want to say it because I didn't know how much of it you wanted to reveal.
Yeah. But there's actually 3 parts to it.
3 parts, yeah. Yeah, I do remember that. Like something about him being really powerful, and he had to splinter his personality. One part's super logical. The bard part is like fun and charismatic. I forget all
creative.
Oh, that's what it was. Like he had to get those parts of his personality out for some reason.
Yeah, what happens is the bad side effect is a part of you is gone. So the part of Eric the Mage that loved music had the kind of creativity around that part's all gone from the old aspect. He remembers having it, but he doesn't have his taste for music anymore, and those parts are separate. So, but
did he create another aspect of himself, or did it occur and now there's another Eric walking around? He did it.
It's an act of magic you have to perform on yourself.
Okay.
I guess someone else could try and do it, but it would be so expensive. It would be you probably wouldn't want to cast that spell on someone else. Okay.
So good. Eric is friendly to me. Yay! There was much rejoicing.
So you start rushing up. You know, Hamilton must be gone again because his crowd of girls are gone, and and you go up. You see Thomas standing literally in the gate.
Thomas, I forget it. Oh, he's Hamilton's right hand.
Mm-hmm. The guy who does the job of the captain of the guard.
Right. Thomas, do you know where? What's my boss's name? Hang on, I have it here. Yoha. Do you know where Yoha is?
Yoha is in the main hall, I believe, right now. Sir Themric has left again.
Okay. How far is the Duke?
The Duke, from my understanding, should be here within the hour.
Okay. I rush inside.
Yeah. Okay. You rush inside. Yoha is sitting down exhausted. You've seen this in him before. This is usually after he's just distributed jobs to everyone in the house. Usually 3 or 4 more jobs than they could possibly handle at that time.
I'm exhausted from delegating.
That's right. He needs a moment to rest after he does all the delegation.
Right.
But literally, and it's kind of amazing and weird at the same time because he tracks what needs to get done and passes it out to everyone in the household at the same time and then sends them off. And it's like an exhaustion to him afterwards.
Okay. Well, step up to him with an urgency.
You stepping up to me?
Yeah.
Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah. I'm stepping up on him. I'm going to step on his pumas.
Excellent.
Yeah, just address him. Yoha.
Okay.
He says, okay. Really?
Yeah.
That seems odd.
Yeah. He kind of looks his head over, not standing up, which is also odd.
I've procured some wine. and it's very good quality. But it's not here. I need to take some horses to go get it. It's on a cart.
He starts to stand up, and you see sort of his continence start to return to himself.
His gears are starting to spin.
Okay, where's the wine?
It's at the goat herders.
Okay. I will deal with getting the wine here. The rest of the wine has been moved out, and I've just had them destroy the vinegar. I don't know what to make of that, so we will not be using it. The Duke is coming. Actually, I'm going to have you deal with getting the wine. Have Thomas go take a couple guard with him and bring it in immediately. But I want to under guard until the Duke comes here. We can tell him of the events, and he can make decisions.
I also feel it noteworthy to mention that the man who I got the wine from, clearly a magic user, a very odd fellow. And with all the strange things that are going, I don't know him. His name was, was it Marion was him, or was that the goat? Marion. His name was Marion.
Not important for now. Before any of the swine will be dispersed even, the day will have to be relayed to the Duke. It's, I hate to say beyond my scope, but it's all very odd.
Something's going on. Okay, back to Thomas. Assuming I've been appropriately dismissed.
Yes. It's usually for you to being done talking is you can offer formalities back and forth, but it's when it's busy, it typically does not happen.
Well, just as long as I'm not being rude by stepping away.
No.
Like
you are a fellow steward.
Yeah, I know my place.
You're beneath him.
Right.
Like if it was in a more formal setting, you would definitely do it. But in that we're trying to rush to get stuff done for the Duke here. The household for both of you is more important than
the formalities,
which are really only required in the presence of others anyway.
Fair enough. Okay. To Thomas. Thomas, as per Yoha, I need you and a couple of guards to escort me back to the goat herders where I have wine for the Duke to replace the wine that had been destroyed. But he
weird place to put it, but okay.
It's just where I happen to get it. So I just want to. Yoha wants to make sure that the wine is under guard the entire time, since we've been concerned that
fair enough
something's wrong.
Why don't you start going out there? I'll go grab a couple people. We'll be out.
We'll need 2 horses to bring the cart.
Oh, you have a lot.
I'm asking you, Jeff, like how big the cart is. Will 2 horses do it?
2 horses will do it comfortably. One will get it done.
Okay. Well, 2 because we're under the gun. We'll want 2 horses to pull the cart that it's on.
Fair enough. I'll get some guards. We'll get a couple draft horses. We'll follow you within a few minutes.
Excellent.
Okay.
Back to the goat herders.
You go rushing out, and you see as you're rushing out at the door of the inn, Ravens is standing there in the doorway, and you notice like he is drenched in blood, and he collapses.
You suck. Okay, I gotta run over there. This is gonna be brief. I can't stay there long.
Okay. I'm not telling you have to go there at all.
I'm just all right. Well, I have to.
Don't blame me.
Look, no, I'm blaming you because it's your fault. All right, so I rush over there.
You rush over
and look, and just no one else sees this.
It's relatively quiet. It's past dusk. Since he's been sick, the tavern's been kind of empty on people. One, Nortz is still missing.
Okay, I don't know that.
No, because he was missing from the first one.
I know that.
What?
But I don't know
that he's still
the character doesn't know that he's.
But as far as you know, it's only been since today. You don't know where he is. You know that they're out looking for him.
Okay.
But in general, when people get sick or odd things happen, your normal business flow slows down in small towns.
Right. Excuse me, pardon me. As a reminder to the listener, Ravens is the husband to Mary, who are the tavern and supply house owners.
Who
Little Fishes is the name of their bar and supply house.
Yes, and they actually typically store a stash, and this is where the day started to go bad for Michael.
Right.
Where
Emil. The character's name is Emil.
Yes. Well, yeah. It went bad for Emil, not Michael.
Tomato.
But it started going bad for him at this point where he went, and that's when he discovered some of his wine was first stolen. And it's gotten better since then.
Do you want to?
Very soon.
Okay. All right, so I rush over.
He is passed out on the ground.
Mary, shout out.
No response.
No response. He's like, I can't lift him because he's a big man. He has passed out in the doorway to the Little Fishes. Mm-hmm. Quickly poke my head inside.
Mm-hmm. Empty.
Help! Just on the street. Is there anybody?
As you're going out, Thomas is coming out with the two guys with the
right.
draft horses. You see, he kind of is pointing them down the road, and then Thomas comes over.
As I was stepping out the gate, I saw Ravens.
He's covered in blood.
He just collapsed. I stepped out and I saw him. I don't know what happened. There's nobody inside.
You see, he actually literally steps in, grabs him by the collar, and just drags him back in the door. Actually, a trail of blood sort of streaks across the floor because he was that covered in blood.
Oh my gosh!
And you're just like, Jesus. And when you go inside, you kind of look around and it's empty, which, because of what happened earlier in the day, it's not shocking. And
but for your average day,
yeah.
Odd.
So you see him in there. It's like Thomas is like, let's leave him here for now. And you see Thomas just kind of look around, and he's like, I'm going to go out, check out the warehouse. Could you go upstairs and check out upstairs on the family?
Sure. Okay.
And you see he kind of goes out.
All right. So I go upstairs.
You kind of go out. You go upstairs.
Hang on. Mary and the daughter's name is Sydney. Mary, Sydney?
No response. You kind of go up to the first room, which is Sydney's, empty.
Okay.
You go down to the next room, which is theirs. You open it up. You see all of these strange symbols all over the room. Two very dead, ritualistically murdered Mary and Sydney on the ground, blood and pieces all over the room.
Of pieces of them?
Yes, the end.
Tom, you're not going to at least let me shout out Thomas's name? All right. Well, that's what I'm
Thomas, the end.
Tom at the end. No, to be continued.
No, that's it. That's it.
That's it. The story's over. No, that's it. Testing done. So as
did you feel satisfied with that story?
No, not at all. As another reminder, all of this is in an effort to test Jeff's world and characters within the world and stuff that will be in book number 2.
Setting wise, this is an important setting for book 2.
For book number 2. Okay. Reminders and things that we need to tell them about.
Okay.
Amazon, go to www.gardul.com/Amazon for all of your Amazon needs.
That is gardul.com/Amazon.
So, which doesn't change any of your prices, but it does help out the show. So if you're going to do any online ordering, please do it through us.
Yes. Especially think of us around Christmas.
Yeah, and Black Friday. It's all coming up.
Oh, yes. Cyber Monday.
Or just, hey, it's Friday.
That's right.
Just or Tuesday.
It's Friday.
Whatever.
Or whatever day you're on.
Kristen was reminding me of something that I'm now forgetting that we
You're now forgetting that, one of the important things right now, we're actually making a push to get our show on iHeartRadio. The exact requirements are somewhat unknown. There's a belief that there's a subscriber minimum, but I don't know what the number is. So if you listen to the show, take a moment and make sure to subscribe in the platform you listen to us in. And just take a moment to take it out to a couple people who the show might help, or maybe they'll just enjoy the banter of me and Michael trying to respond like a normal human being.
Yeah, it's always entertaining to listen to Jeff sound like an idiot and then me call him on it. So
take a moment, show them, show them the show. And actually, if they don't even know what podcasting is or how to do it, take a moment on their system, if they give you the permission, and do it for them. Subscribe to the show and let them know about all of the other. There's like so many wonderful podcasts out there. It's ridiculous.
I mean, obviously, we love all these nerdy things: tabletop role playing, world building, novel writing, video games, geeky movies, and all that stuff.
TEDx. There's all kinds of
just anything. If there's a given thing that your friend has a hobby for, I guarantee you there is a podcast on it, or probably a few.
And we
to
would
choose
suggest
from.
stay with the indie podcasters.
Yeah,
but
there's a couple of the big ones that started indie that started indie,
big. But a lot of the big ones are run by NPR style channels or larger networks. They're really well made, so I couldn't blame you for liking them. But us indie guys, we needed help too. So
support garduel.com and buy Jeff's forthcoming book. And it won't be out till next year.
Yeah. So,
but The Steward's Son.
The pushing of that is sort of pointless at this point.
Well, always going to push that.
All right,
it's coming.
All right, yeah,
it's coming.
Is the show over yet?
Yeah,
I have to hit the button.
Hit the stop button.
And as always, make sure to go to garduel.com. That's GARDUL.com for the show notes. It'll be under podcasting, World Builders Anvil. That's a great place to get all of the information from the episode that you've just listened to and to see all the resources that we've talked about in this episode. Thanks for joining us this episode of the World Builders Anvil. Please be sure to rate and review us in iTunes, and please help get the word out to your friends about our show. And join me, Jeffrey W. Ingram at garduel.com, to see the progress of my world and learn why I made the choices I did. And please contact me and let me know the topics you would love to hear in the future. Now strike, while the myth rolls high.